Hello and welcome to the Road to Worlds Regional Rundown, and welcome to week number 10. I'm Daniel Madison, and as always, here with me is my co-host Greg Dillon. Greg, how's it going?
It's going pretty good.
So, got quite a bit to talk about this week. We have two guests with us today to recap regional events from the past weekend and take a look at events that are coming up. So, two guests today. Both of them have been on the show before, and they don't have a whole lot in common except that they have both won a first edition regional already this year. So one of which we're going to be talking about in just a little bit. So first, let me welcome back to the show Neil Matthew. Neil, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing good. I've got a headset, so I won't be speaking in Breen this time. Yeah.
You are a lot. Your voice is a lot clearer this week. So
Oh yeah.
thank you for that.
I'm sounding not too bad for 4:30 in the morning.
Certainly. And also, welcome back to the show, Kris Sonsteby. How's it going, Kris?
Good, Dan. Good to be back one more time.
We only had a couple of events this past weekend. Had one in Germany and one in the UK. So we're going to start off with the Germany event. This was a 2E standard event and had 4 players turn out, and the winner was Tobias Rausman. And I think this is one that I predicted. We didn't really have a lot of information on it. I think he was also the TD. But Tobias was the winner, piloting a Klingon deck.
That's Tobias.
That's too much.
Yes.
Wasn't that like, what, the 7th or 8th regional in Germany so far? They got like 4 more to go?
Germany has an insane number of regionals. Like, every week I'm like, oh, and hey, look, there's one coming up in Germany.
Yeah,
One
I think
week
I'm
too.
going to one in 2 weeks' time. I think I'm going to one of Stefan's ones.
There's one coming up this weekend, too.
Of course.
They have a lot of disparate play groups. Either that or Germany's just really, really large.
It's
I think
I
it's
think it's
really
part-
good track.
There's a lot of trek happening in Germany. Well, hey, that's a good thing, though. Tobias, however, does not get a bye for this event because he's already got one. He had one handed down at another regional. So the bye for this event will trickle down to second place. The second place finisher of this event, I'm going to get the name wrong, but it's Tiemo Mittelstedt. And unfortunately, his deck was not posted at the time that I looked this up, so I do not know what he was running.
Nah, still not up.
I do know that third place was a Cardassian deck, so.
Oh, that's my main man, Das Ulf.
And yes, that's right. I think that was who you picked.
That's who I picked. I'm going to tell him off when I see him. Oh, that's the...
You would.
I think I've seen
Anyway,
him.
congrats to Tobias on the regional win and to Tiemo for earning the bye. The other event was in the UK, and this is the one that Neil attended. This was supposed to be run by Danny, but it ended up being run by Paddy. Was that right?
I was run by Paddy.
Yeah. And this was a 1E OTF event, and 5 players turned out for this one, and the winner of the event is sitting right here. Congrats, Neil.
Thank you. That was it was definitely a tough event, especially with Paddy and Stu. Both timed wins against them.
Yeah, they're both very tough players, and I expect you were running Borg, and I expect that happens a lot with Borg, as they frequently have modified wins. They take a lot of setup and a lot of moving parts. And,
Yeah, that's the weird thing is that's the first time I've ever won with a won a tournament with a Borg deck. I play them a lot, but I never actually win with them because I always end up like making mistakes. But yeah, it was a really different deck from what everyone normally sees me with. I'm normally playing an 80 to 100 card
Mhm.
a simulator deck or 12 space deck or whatever. But I just thought I'd make the deck nice and tight, 40 something cards, just a simple solver.
Yeah, I noticed this was a very different type of deck. It was not geared toward assimilation or attack. It was definitely a solver. It didn't run They Will Be Coming, did it? It was just it was an outpost build.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I missed. I do miss the double outpost setup because I'm trying to think. I'm trying to work it out in my head because it's better for homeworld decks using the homeworld setup because with a non-homeworld deck, you can afford to have lots of copies of the Shades of Grey Queen and First Contact Queen.
Mm-hmm.
But when you add a homeworld into it, you need the counterpart early enough in the game. So
Yeah.
that's a large amount of copies of a third different card, which you need to put into the deck, and that'll clog it up even more, and it might mess up how the deck flows. So using the double outpost way, you can safely use the reactor overload just to have one copy of the First Contact Queen.
Yeah,
So the deck mostly consists of Shades of Grey and the counterpart.
Now,
Yeah, this is my favourite kind of Borg deck as well. If you keep it small, because when I play Borg, I always do 1 in 4, 1 in 5 are Borg Queens. So basically, every 3 cards you add, then you're adding a fourth as well. So the smaller you keep it, I think, the better, and it just plays more consistently.
yeah. Now, do I understand right when you solve or scout with this particular build? Is it a two objective? Am I doing it right? Am I doing the math right? It's harness particle and then assimilate homeworld.
Yeah, harness particle. You start off with establish gateway first, and
Okay.
then in the same turn that you clear the dilemmas, you're still able to change your plans, and then put in harness particle so you can probe in the next turn, and then after that, you go for the homeworld, which didn't quite work out that way when I was up against Paddy.
Is there any reason why you use Bajor and not a different homeworld like Klingon or Romulan?
Klingon's overused. I thought I'd try something different, and I deliberately did use Bajor because I was hoping to face a couple of Bajoran decks.
worked out.
Yeah, there's a lot of resistance cell going around right now, and it looked like you had some in this event too.
Yep. So when I was up against Paddy, with duplicated Bayshore, he had Deep Space Nine there, so that made me quite happy. But he knew that I was playing Borg, so he was teching Delta space missions with dilemmas like In the Pale Moonlight, Twisted, Dead End, which works for one turn, and Emergent Life Form, things that I would need to adapt to
Sure.
every turn. So I was struggling through the first mission, and I noticed that he was going straight for Bayshore. He cleared the mission, but he didn't have the treachery to do it. So on my next turn, I just thought, yeah, bugger it, you ain't getting that one. Just change the plans and managed to shut down all of his reporting engines apart from Resistance Cell and his Interceptor. I think it's Bajoran Interceptor, the one that reports a crew.
Yep.
I think it's the Raider. No, maybe it is.
Yeah, because he still had like Borg assimilate facilities and planets and all personnel on them, but they don't assimilate personnel on ships. So he had a couple of ships docked at the docking bay, like one of the docking bits, and he had a guy with computer skill there. So despite it being assimilated, he was still able to report with crew some guys and then run away.
Yeah, he wasn't completely out of it.
Oh no. I mean, his was a really good deck. It definitely showed the power of Bajoran Resistance Cell if you don't tech against it like I did.
Well, what was Stu running?
God knows. He was running. It's coming up as Fed Bajoran on there, but it was actually.
Yeah, I saw that, but if I know Stu, that's not actually what he was running.
No, it was more Fed Cardassian Bajoran kind of thing. It basically took him about 5 turns to set up his typical capturing methods. He has cards like Quantum Slipstream, Hostage Trade, Torture, all of that in his Q's 10, and he fills his deck up with extra Q's 10s so he can access them at any time
That's
when he needs
old
them.
school.
So, yeah, and so he was basically setting up to. He was a couple of turns away from it before time was called, but he was going to capture McQueen, use the Art of Diplomacy to kill her, and then interrupt with Alice Poor Queen from his Q's tent to kill all the Borg in the game. He was very close to doing it. I managed to stall him a bit with transport inhibitors, which is a really strange one to put in a Borg deck, because you normally put it in a deck when you know you're going to be facing Borg.
But that was your anti-Stu tech.
That was the Stu side deck, yeah.
Right.
Paddy had it as well. So yeah, he had Alice Pordrone in the Q's 10, and he had that ready just to annihilate me. But I managed to get an objective done before time was called.
Gotcha. Well, this is your first regional win of the year, so that does earn you a bye into European Continental. So congratulations again.
Thank you. It'll be my only regional win, because if you look at the regional that I'm going to in Germany, I do not stand a chance. I think Seppo and Caretaker's Guest and Moog's Son of Worf, there are 2 of them that are going to be there, so I think I'm just going to make a fun deck and just have a good time.
It's tough competition.
There will be lots of Jaeger, I think.
Yeah.
No one's.
Anyway, I'll plug again that Lucas Thompson, Edge of Hearing, already has a deck analysis article up in which he talks at length about Niall's regional winning deck with some commentary from Niall himself. So go check out that article if you haven't already. It's on the main site. And those were the only 2 events this past weekend, so we're going to look ahead and see what's going on this weekend in Week 10. We're going to start with, I'm going to say it again, hey, there's an event in Germany this weekend.
No way!
It's amazing. If you are in Germany, if you live in Germany, they're a single week. Just about. You are never at a loss to find a tournament. Anyway, this particular one, there are 2E and Tribbles events, regional events taking place, and these are being directed by Johannes Klarhauser. So yeah, we're going to take a look at the 2E event first, and I did my research on these last night, and as of last night, there were 6 players pre-registered for 2E. And I gotta find Greg's notes here too. Oh, there they are. And yeah, I don't see anybody but Johannes taking this event. I could be wrong. He has won 2 of the last 3 in this area.
Yeah,
But,
Giannis is Like, just looking at the 6 pre-registered, overall he's ranked 6 in the world, and the next is 335th. So he is a massive favourite. The other winner 2 years ago was Vladimir Vrbata, and out of all the German playgroups, this is the one closest to Czech Republic. So, I mean, it's probably a long shot, but he may turn up for the event.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a really long shot pick, I think, though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, having said, like, Johannes, he's won this twice, as well as other German regionals, and yeah, he'll win this one this year.
Yeah, he's one of the best players in the world, like you just said. I mean, it's his to lose.
Yeah, I kind of agree with both of you. I feel like you can't really say enough good things about Johannes. I think we've all played him online, and he's probably one of the best, most cordial people I've ever played online. I mean,
Definitely.
he's not a guy who's going to be on the forums and either talking himself up or talking other people's down. He's just going to be the guy who goes about his business. And honestly, like, I kind of feel like I want to emulate him. I've looked up to him as far as his 1E performance has gone, and trying to emulate that a little bit because look at him. He started playing 1E like a year ago, and he's I think in the top 10. He's either in the top 15 or the top 10 in player rating in 1E already. He won Continentals or he won Nationals or maybe one of both. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, like I said, he's my hero. I don't feel like I could ever pick against him if given the chance.
He's done so well, like you said. I mean, like a year or something, he's been playing properly, and I think the only time I've beaten him was his first online game of 1E. After that, he get annihilated every time. But he's a gentleman, and I enjoy that.
That's what I mean. Like, he'll beat you, and I mean, he and I have had a lot of close games, and I've been on the short end more often than not. But I never walk away from a game with Johannes feeling down or salty about it at all. I'm always fine.
Yeah, definitely. I think I have a similar record against him. It's like maybe I have one win, but yeah, he's a real nice guy to play against, and no matter what the game, and he's good at all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's also going to be some triples going on there. Only saw 3 pre-registered, but it's the usual assumption that's probably going to be much the same group as the 2E if it happens right after. And Johannes has won the triple. I don't know. He's wandering off. He's gonna go get some Jaeger. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Wake up for work.
Yeah,
but yeah, Johannes has won. Oh, it's time to wake up. Okay.
Good to know.
Yeah. Johannes has won triples the last 2 years in his area. Possibly a favorite for this event too. I'm going to go with a little dark horse pick, and I'm going to pick Mark Napier, who is Scorsifer on the forums, because he's just getting started. He's played a few events in everything. He's played a little bit online. Hasn't won any events yet, but I don't know. I could see him getting lucky in triples and taking this one. So that's going to be my pick.
Dan, you're stealing my thunder. I was going to pick Mark too. I have a different reason though. He
I was like,
he
I'm
mentioned,
gonna get this out and shock everybody.
Yeah, not at all. I'm picking him for a different reason. He said that we were playing a Tribbles online event about a month and a half ago. He said that he actually played alongside D. Schneider. I think he opened for Twisted Sister, so that's why I'm picking him, just because he likes the same band I do.
There you go.
I'm going to pick Das Thomas to win that one.
Thomas.
He's pre-registered, but he is for 2E. I think he'll play.
All right, Neil, what do you think?
I'm going to go for Das Richter. Marcus Richter. I like that name. Das Richter. Ranked 686. It's almost the rock and roll number, so yeah, let's go for him. He's going to win with... What what 2E decks are there? I haven't got a clue. He's going to win with a Dominion shape-shifting Barber deck.
Is this your
You heard
2E
it here
pick or your
first.
Tribbles pick?
That is... Well, that's the 2E pick. Tribble's pick, I'll go for my main man, Johan.
Alright.
And that'll be a Barber deck as well.
That's Kaiser.
Yeah, that's Kaiser.
Sounds very official.
Fair enough.
You heard it here first?
Alright, what was that?
You heard it here first.
Yes. Alright, so I'm going to move on past Germany here, and I'm going to get to an event that I know Greg has been wanting to talk about forever, for weeks and weeks and weeks. We finally have a regional that he's going to. This is in the
Queensland.
this is the Briar Patch region. This is Greg's home area. This is in Queensland. They're running some 2E standard, and Mike Garvey is the TD for this event. Looks like there was supposed to be some 1E happening too, but that got postponed or canceled or something. Do you know what's going on with that?
Yeah, what was going to happen was some of the Australian players from the south were going to come up and play. I don't remember what game it was. It was a different card game on the Saturday, and then stay around Sunday to play 2E with us. But then the other card game got changed, so we just dumped that instead of having play on both days. We're just going to spread it over a couple of weeks at our 2 regionals.
Okay, so the 1E might still be happening.
It should still happen later at some point. But 2E this weekend, because the New South Wales guys won't be coming up, this should just be a glorified local. We shouldn't get more than 4 people.
Mm-hmm. You've got 5 pre-regged.
Yeah, Kieran's one of the ones that was going to come up. I don't think he is anymore.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, if I was you, I wouldn't pick Kieran to win. But basically, there's my family. There's me, my brother Ben, and my father Gary, with Mike Garvey, like you said, the TD.
I was gonna say there are a lot of Dylans in this list.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we just pick Dylan to win, and then we...
3 out of 4. Well, that's 100% right there. Like, Mike Garvey, he's a great bloke, but he has no chance of winning this.
How do you really feel?
No, he's busy in real life, and he doesn't get to play a lot. So yeah, he's got unfortunately no hope. Likewise, Gary has no hope. He can be good. He can be good.
Wait a minute, just so we're clear. So your dad sucks and has no chance, and Mike Garvey should just not even show up. He should just stay home. That's what you're saying. Go outside and shoot yourself. We don't want you here.
I didn't say they shouldn't play. I just said they can't win.
Oh, okay.
He's got to have a bonus.
Gary,
Thanks for coming. Be sure to tip your waitress.
Gary's a good player. He won nationals last year against a tough field. The problem is he can only win if he practices his deck, and he recently built a new deck, so he has no chance. He won't even know how to play it at all. So.
Oh my god.
Wow. I tell him this all the time, so it's no big deal. So pretty much it's out of me and Ben really. I'll be playing Relativity because I haven't won yet, and I've had like 5 second places, so I'm going with Relativity.
Are you picking yourself too after talking those?
You're picking yourself. You can't pick yourself.
Imagine that.
Confidence.
Confident. All right, I like it. And looking at the research, Greg did win this event in 2011, and Ben Dillon won in 2012. So,
Dan, who are you going with?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's the right week to pick against the host. Plus, if he is playing I don't know though. If he's playing Relativity, that has a very good track record at coming in second.
I was gonna say, didn't you finish second with him, and I finished second with him?
That's right. That's right. So I think I might have to go with statistics on this, and we'll go with Ben.
I'm gonna go. I wrote down Greg, and I'm gonna say Ben after that. After that intro. Jeez.
I'm just giving you the information you need to make a good pick.
Okay, TK.
Right. My pick. Sorry, who's your dad again? Greg?
Gary.
Gary's his dad.
Now, you see, I'm going to phone up. I'm going to learn 2E. I'm going to phone up your dad. And I'm going to tell him how to play Relativity. So I'm going to predict your dad to win.
No, watch. Greg will win and then make us all look dumb.
Yeah.
No, I admit Gary does have a chance. He won Nationals last year. It was very good, but he practiced that deck for like a month, so...
Sure. Well, sometimes that's what it comes down to. Like I talk about that all the time. If you're taking a brand new deck to an event, particularly a big event, you tend to stumble at the beginning. You kind of have to find your footing with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want to learn your deck during a tournament because then you're not focusing on what your opponent's doing.
Yeah.
And who they've played and what dilemmas to use against them. It's not good.
It was
Particularly a higher level event.
It was particularly bad, like before when was it strength of schedule affected it more than differential, because obviously
CVP.
Yeah.
Really.
It still does. Its CVP was more than differential, and that's
Oh
been
yeah,
swapped.
yeah, that was the one. Yeah, I know what I mean.
Yeah, because you didn't want to lose early.
No.
All right. Well, that's Queensland. That's the Australian event for this week, and I don't know. I'm gonna have Greg rubbing it in my face next week, or possibly not. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, we have 3 more events taking place this weekend, and these are in Kris's backyard.
Correct.
The Minnesota events in the Andoria region, and we've got the full slate happening: 2E, Tribbles, and 1E, and these are going to be at Fantasy Flight, correct?
They are. They're going to be at the mothership.
Awesome. And
It's a good turnout.
yeah, there are a lot pre-registered for these events so far. I'm showing 11 for 2E, and 8 for first edition. As of when I checked last night.
That sounds right. I expect attendance to be down for second edition. We've talked about it kind of internally. Anybody who's going to travel here to play is going to just come in July. They're not going to be here for the regional. They'll be here for the Continental Championships. So
that makes sense.
I think we've set the attendance record the last couple of years. So I mean, I'm sure we'll still have a good turnout, but
that's still one of the higher attended regionals of the year. I mean, I think we've had like an 11 and a 12 and a 16. So it's going to be in like the top 5 for sure.
Yeah, I think we were at like 18 last year or 18 the year before. I don't remember exactly. As to the what's that?
It was both years you had 18.
Oh, really? Well, there you go.
Oh, nice.
That's just dumb luck that I remember that. As to the event itself, kind of some insider knowledge. I've talked to Jeremy Benedict, and he's scheduled to run this event, but he's running Continentals. He hasn't played in a regional, and I just told him kind of man to man, if you want to play, I'll run it if we have an even number, not counting me. I'll sit out, I'll run it. This is the 2 event, because I'm going to be playing in the 1 event the next day, and I've already played in 2 events already, 2 regionals already. So I may not even be playing. If we can both play, it'll be great. We'll have an even dozen or whatever the number will be, and that'll be a good time. But as far as who to pick, Well,
let me stop you there, Kris. You know the players a lot better than I do, but let's do a little math for me first. How many former world champions are in this list?
Well, I think there's 3 on that list, aren't there? Mike Harrington.
Yeah.
Well, let's start. You start the list there. Mike Harrington is the dual champion, a 1E and a 2E world champion. He's somebody you can't really look past. Caleb Grace, who I don't think is going to play, but he's been known to make an appearance every once in a while. He won 2E back-to-back years. You got Kevin Yeager, who former world champion. Speaking of Yeager. Niall, speaking of Yeager. He's also the reigning King of the Ring. He won that event last year, so he bested a really strong field for that. A lot of traveling players for that, but. Kind of the often forgotten champion, Matt Freed, is somebody that I want to take a second to talk about. Matt Freed, around Christmas time last year, we got together. We do this every year with his family. We got together, and I gave him a complete set, a play set of every virtual expansion. He'd been known to play traditional-only builds, and I gave him this complete set of every printable card you could get for second edition. His eldest son, Henry, has been playing with him every day, at least one game every day, since Christmas. Do the math, folks. That's 150 games at least that they have played since then. And I'm not just saying they're running their 2-speed decks against each other. They've played assimilators, captured decks, Relativity, Big Romulan, Starfleet, going back in time to Tane, to Bajoran decks with Just Like Old Times. Every possible deck they could come up with, they've been playing against each other and just wailing on everybody and really fine-tune their decks. I feel like Matt Freed is probably more prepared for this regional than anyone has been for regionals this year. So I got to go with my buddy, the original champion, Matt Freed, for this one.
I'm actually looking at the list of world champions now because I wasn't looking at it before, and yeah, original champion is exactly right. He was the first 2E world champion, back in 2003.
Yep.
And yeah, Kevin Yeager was 08. Mike Harrington in 2011. He was the first to win both. 1E to hold both 1E and 2E world titles. Not the first to do it in the same year, but the first to get them both.
Yep. Oh, and you got national champion in there too. You got Nat Curtin. I mean, not somebody you can look past.
Yep. No, I believe I can't put my vote in for Nat Curtin because if I remember correctly, he's the one that eliminated me at Gen Con last year.
He talked about that the other day. It's funny.
I'm sure he's a great guy, but
well, they all are. I mean, really, whoever wins this event's going to earn it. I mean, we're going to have a really a lot of high-level players, but it's also going to be very dense. I mean, I think you're going to probably have 8 of the 12 who could win, and we've got a running streak where
you have
every year since 2E started, we've had a different winner of that event. So if any of us win it again, it'll be the first person to win it twice, which will be pretty telling. How many
year or Continentals? You're talking about Continentals, right?
The regional. No, the regional.
Oh, the regional.
No one has ever won our regional more than once. going back, I think a dozen years. I won it, I think, first, and I haven't won it since then.
Has Matthew Freed won?
Freed has won. Freed won, I think, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But
the last 3 were Mike Harrington, Matt Hayes, and Nat Curtin. Those were your last 3.
So Freed was 4 years ago then.
Yeah.
That sounds right. The interesting thing about that is every one of them won Worlds before they won our regional. So take that for what it is.
Yeah, definitely. It's a stacked field, and just about anybody on this list can win. It's really hard to call. So you went with Freed.
Yep.
I'm kind of leaning that way myself, but I want to see what everyone else thinks.
I'm gonna go with Jeremy Benedict. I only just looked him up now because he wasn't pre-ranked, but like so if you TD for him and he plays, I'll look at his record. I reckon he's got a solid chance. I'm gonna pick Jeremy.
If
he's
he plays,
also not. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say if he plays, he's definitely got a very good shot.
he has also not won that event, so he would keep the streak going if he wins.
Neil, any thoughts?
Take one guess who I'm going to pick to win.
You're gonna pick Jaeger because
I'm going to pick Jaeger. Jaeger.
and then you're going to drink some in his honor.
Actually, I think Kevin and I will drink some if he wins because he's staying here Saturday night.
I want to drink some just now, but I was trying to hold up a sign saying I've no Jaeger, but it's backwards, and you know.
I have fucking Jaeger.
No fucking Jaeger. No Jaeger! That makes me sad. I was going to have some Jaeger because Kevin Jaeger's been mentioned, and I was going to give him some Jaeger power to help him with the tournament.
Some Jaeger power.
But sadly, no.
we will wish it upon him virtually. We'll have to leave it at that. Well, just so I can be different from everybody else, and so we all have a pretty even shot at getting this one. I'm gonna go with Mike Carrington.
Also, not a bad choice.
That's what I'm saying. Like you really can't go wrong here. Any pick is a legitimate pick.
Yep, that's par for the course around here.
Yeah. It's a tough field. I'm really sorry that I'm not going to be able to make it up there for Continentals. I had something come up at the last minute, and my plans had to fall through. But at the same time, I'm like not sorry that I have to wander into this field.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Yeah, I mean, hats off to anybody traveling up here to see what they can do. I know that. We've had a lot of people who've come out from like Ohio, and Kevin Yeager's not really from here; he's from South Dakota. But we've had a lot of people who come up from Chicago and Iowa, and they all love playing with us, and we like having them. But we'll see who shows up for Continentals this year. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. I do hope to get up there eventually. It's just not gonna be for this one, but I'm sure I'll get up there at some point.
Just come up for a local and make sure that I don't get to play in it.
Yeah. I played enough online games against you. All right, let's move on. We've got Tribbles next. And Tribbles is same day? Tribbles is right after 2E?
I think so, yeah, that sounds right.
So, again, there are a lot of players here with lengthy Tribbles records. Matt Hayes has the most career Tribbles. I think he's number one lifetime with Tribbles. I think he plays like every night. Looking at your events, you guys have had Tribbles the last 2 years. And Mike Harrington won in 2012, and last year it was Kris Volk. Isn't that one of Matt's players?
Yeah, Volk is from Fargo area.
Yeah.
Last year he played that kind of a clone, I think it was a clone battle deck or something. He won, I want to say 2 of the regionals here locally. He might have won in Fargo as well, but I know he won here pretty handily. He got a huge score.
Yeah, he actually won 3. He won all the Endori regionals last year.
He won all of them. Okay,
wow.
Sure.
Yep.
Good year for him, but he's not pre-registered for this, at least not as of yet. I don't know if he's going to be making the trip with Matt. Now this one you guys are all pre-registered for, you and Jeremy, and so not going to be any issues on this one. You're all going to be playing.
No, I'm sure that we'll all be either half drunk or we'll be working on it. Fantasy Flight sells alcohol. Neil, show up. Come on, come to our Continentals.
Yeah, for this one, I might actually pick Matthew Hayes. He's number 1. I don't know if it's mainly from just playing a lot or winning a lot, but I'm going to pick Matthew Hayes.
I think it's a little bit of both. He's won quite a few, but he also plays constantly. So yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I'm I'm gonna placate the guest here, and I'm gonna pick Kris for this one,
All right. I'm not picking me.
just because.
I'm picking Steve, my buddy Steve Nelson. He plays a kind of a rescue go, spin the magic wheel, and you wait 10 minutes, and then it's finally your turn again because he'll go from 100 all the way through 100,000 back down to 10 usually. And his deck is really fine tuned for small pods, and I'm guessing we're gonna have in the neighborhood of 12 to 16 players, which would be 4-player pods. So I expect him to do really well if we do that. And
Yeah, he does it. He does have an awful lot of Tribble's lifetime for somebody that does not play online.
No, he doesn't play online, and really, he doesn't play that much live. I mean, we'll play occasionally, but it's not like he seeks it out and plays 25 matches in a month like some of those folks. So, I mean, he scores huge totals. That deck either seems like it works and he scores 2 million, or it doesn't and he'll score 10. It's there's no in between. But I'm picking Steve. He's been playing track with me for more than half my life, so I gotta go with an old friend.
All right, Greg and Neil.
Greg said he was going with Hayes. I don't know what Neil's doing.
I didn't hear him.
I believe in Jaeger.
Universally voting for Jaeger.
I wish I had Jaeger.
He's lusting after Jaeger.
You can fix that later, sir.
I don't have Jaeger in the house.
I'll have Kevin mail you some.
All right, so finally we've got some 1E OTF, and I think this is the following day.
Yeah, this is Sunday.
And this one has a different TD. It's Justin Kaufman. And like I said before, 8 pre-registered for this, and I think this is only you guys' second 1E regional in this area.
Yeah, we've had one other big tournament. That was the King of the Ring 1E event last September, and James Heaney won that. I believe I won the regional last year, and that was just kind of a fluke and a joke. I mean, I showed up late because apparently they switched the time. They pushed the time back, and they started half an hour early, and I was meeting my stepmom for lunch out in her area, she lives like a mile from the venue that they played at last year. So the stars all kind of aligned, and I told Dan in camp, and I said, "Hey, bring me that Klingon deck you've played that's block ready or whatever. I can figure out how to play guys for free and shoot people. That's all I ever did in first edition anyway." So
was that a block event that last year?
It was not, but I just told him to build a deck that would earn me like 50 achievements. I didn't really expect anything to happen at that event. And then I just, somehow I got that between the bye and a mod win against James, and then I got a full win against Matt. Yeah.
Now, let me make sure I got my name straight. Was James Heaney the guy that came to one of your locals earlier this year, and he teched against you, expecting battle in like a block environment, and he was running Defiant in the Gamma Quadrant?
Yeah, that was up in Fargo, actually. That was a league event in Fargo, I think, January. Yeah. James played Defiant, and I was playing Romulan, I think, for that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say. Yeah,
yeah,
that sounds right.
Yeah, James is a great player, and he does a lot. He does a lot of research about what he's going into, and I'm gonna pick him for this one. I'm gonna say that he gets the kinks worked out of whatever he's playing, and expect him to do well this weekend.
Cool.
I think I already know what Neil's choice is going to be. Well, let's ask him anyway.
I'm going to surprise you here, because obviously it's 1E. I know a lot more about 1E than I do about 2-year triples, but unfortunately, Jaeger will have too much Jaeger by this point. He'll be feeling a little bit down and out this day. He'll be hungover like a bitch. So I'm going to go for Heaney. Again, like you said, he does his research. He comes out as a good player, and he's a good read in the forums. He's what's it? BCW
Wowbagger. Yeah.
Wowbagger.
Yeah. I remember really enjoying reading his report about that deck that he brought and played against you, Kris. I'm like, this is a good player. This is a guy that knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah, interesting fun fact. I think I played him. I know I played him in his first ever tournament. This would be more years ago than I'd care to admit. I think he was like 13 or 14 when we played, ages ago, and it was either his first game or his second game of his very first tournament a long, long time ago.
That's really cool. He came back.
Yeah, I was looking up the people for this event earlier, and James is actually this year, he's got a second place and 2 firsts, so he's on form. But he also has never beaten Kris out of the 4 games they've played in the CC era, so I'm gonna pick Kris.
I'm sure he loves that you're pointing that out.
I can just imagine him right now doing a montage of lifting logs up on top of a mountain and training up Rocky style. I can see that happening.
I think didn't he post on the forums, "This bodes well for my regional" when the Worlds promo was released? Oh god, I love that guy. I'm picking James too. Damn it, I'm not picking me. I'm picking James because I expect he's lost to my battle crap for long enough. I think he'll figure out how to beat it this weekend.
Let me say we spoke about those 2, but like Matthew Hayes has been overlooked a bit here. He's the highest ranked, and he has a solid chance as well.
I don't think Hayes has a good record against James or me, so for what that's worth.
It's hard to look up Matthew's record. It's so long. Like there's just hundreds of people in there.
True.
Yeah, guys played a lot of games. So did you make a pick, Greg? Did I miss it?
Yeah, I went with Kris.
Okay.
No pressure.
You've won one. You don't have to win. You don't have to worry about my prediction. You already got your bye.
I told you, I'm trying to emulate Johannes. I want to be in the top.
He does already have a bye. He already won a regional this year.
Can you give us any hints as to what you'll be playing, Kris?
I just did, didn't I? I said he's ready for my battle stuff.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Let's just say I was reminded of this by Mr. Yeager, fittingly. He said I'm going to try to follow. This is how he's talking about his Continentals decks or whatever, his 1E decks. He said I'm going to follow the 1E mantra of the Big Goodbye, which was the team of Nat, myself, and Mike and Dan Bell. When in doubt, shoot it out. That's just the motto we play by. When you don't know what to do, when it's middle of your turn, you just shoot something. Or punch somebody in the head. Do something like that, and you'll be fine. There you go, Neil. Use that for your mantra. When in doubt, shoot it out.
When in doubt, shoot it out. And when it comes from me, the Sexecutioner, that just comes out as absolutely wrong.
You need to blow up some of Danny's ships, Neil.
No, see, Neil, it's perfectly right when you say it like that. Say it in a sexy voice, too. When in doubt, shoot it out.
When in doubt, shoot it out.
There we go. There we go.
No, put that back on, Neil.
Uh-oh.
You've got me feeling good about myself now.
Oh, God.
You know I'm not wearing any trousers, Kris.
Time out!
All right, on that note.
Will you, Kris? Are you going to be at Worlds, Kris?
Is he speaking Breen again? I can't hear him. What's he saying?
I don't know. Something about Worlds.
Are you going to be at Worlds, Kris?
Of course I will.
I won't be wearing any trousers there either.
Do you promise?
Oh, it's a promise.
Are you going to be a cosplay like Apollo or something? Or are you going to do the tunic or what is no what
He's
is it?
just
That's
wearing
a
that
toga.
robe, I think.
The toga.
He's just wearing the robe.
You're just gonna wear the robe. You're gonna be the Star Trek Flasher.
Well, hey, I'm a Scotsman. I'll be wearing my kilt.
Oh God.
Just pray that I don't do the Riker maneuver when I sit down and play you.
If we play at Worlds, that would be a riot. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I hope we can.
I'm sure we'll find time to play each other at Worlds.
And then we can hug it out afterwards.
Ah, I can have some Jaeger.
Like I said last week, just don't tell Neil where the Beermeister's going to be.
Oh.
I need. Oh, hell with a beer meister. You need a whiskey meister or a Jägermeister.
The
I could
Jägermeister.
I could do a whiskey meister or a rum meister. I don't party with beer.
Ooh, a rum meister.
All right,
Stop
this
looking
conversation is getting way off topic.
Imagine
That's you
that.
looking down, Kris.
But we are out of events. That covers everything for this weekend. So I'm going to start to wrap it up here. Like I said, we do this every Wednesday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. If you would like to be a guest on the show, then send a PM to OK Coyote. We've still got a few weeks left of regional season, and then we get to move into continentals and start talking about that. So it's going to be interesting next couple of months. Next week on the show, he keeps changing his schedule, so I'm not certain of this, but I think if I've done the math right, then next week it's going to be John Corbett. So he will be appearing on here for the first time, and we will do our best to fend him off. But for this week, want to thank our guests, Neil and Kris. Thanks for doing the show again with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks.
And so for Greg Dillon, this is Daniel Madison ending transmission.
Jaeger.